looks like the Saudi Crown Prince is launching a new AI company. Kurt, the cyber guy, joins us now. So, Kurt, a big announcement this morning. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, hours before the president's arrival. And good morning to you, Lawrence. It's called Humane AI, and a bit of an ironic name for MBS and the Saudi government. This is going to be an AI fund that is being established, largely funded out of the existing PIF fund in Saudi. And, you know, Cheryl hit on it. Who's in the room right now? You've got Meta's, which is Facebook and Instagram's. Mark Zuckerberg is there. And it says a lot who's in these images that we're seeing on the screen. Who's in that room? Another one, OpenAI, Sam Altman, as you know him from ChatGPT, he is there. And also here, Mark Zuckerberg's friend, Elon Musk. Elon Musk in the room, of course. A lot going on with AI discussions at this forum that's coming up. Now, what do they want? Why are they there? Well, 960 billion reasons, because the Crown Prince has one of the largest investment funds on the planet. And this investment fund is ready to go with technology investments from, you know, AI processing farms to you name it. Development in this category is exploding globally, and they really want to get their hands into it. And they're trying to get their hands on that money and deals made at this conference, thanks to largely the Trump administration putting a focus on technology and the growth of technology back to the U.S. at this point in time.
How would that work, Kurt? They wouldn't be competitors? If MBS has started Humane, this AI company, wouldn't whoever's running ChatGPT be a competitor? How would that work? How would our American investors, how would they get access to PIF, which is the Crown Prince's company?
Yeah, I mean, the ideal would be that we as Americans and our technology American players in the room ideally would cultivate that investment back to the US. So how do we grow in the United States through AI? We spend money, and we spend money here on our own soil or in ownership of AI elsewhere. And then it grows the American economy, and it grows us as keeping us on the forefront of AI, while really China is biting at the heels right now to try to advance beyond us. Thankfully, right now, without a lot of regulation, we're able to advance very quickly. But the bottom line here is it's about making deals with that sort of, you're either going to be my friend or my enemy. You're my competitor, or you're going to be, no matter what, we're going to dance. So do you bring that dance back to the U.S.? Do you try to carve out what our nation can get out of the growth in AI with one of the world's largest funds of $960 billion?
Well, what is going on, everybody? It's Professor Zeus, and I'm back with another video. If this is your first time at the channel, just know I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time at the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers. We're taking it the humble route. Guys, today we are watching a pivotal moment in history as, President Donald Trump, with all the tech titans, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, and a whole bunch of other U.S. CEOs attend the U.S. Saudi Investment Summit in Riyadh. So, guys, this isn't like just a diplomatic, photo op. This is really a high-stakes convergence coming together of geopolitics, technology, capital, with artificial intelligence at the heart. And you guys know how passionate I am about artificial intelligence. You guys have seen so many of my videos about artificial intelligence, how, China, they're doing such great things, how America, it's like we're the only country right now that doesn't have a unified strategy. So to see this news really shows me that, everything that I thought would happen is really happening. And we're going to try to unpack this event, and we're going to try to, look at some of the maybe implications, the ongoing debate over AI regulation and what is signaling for the future. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to try to talk about as much as we can. So, starting with the context again, Saudi Arabia under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is no longer just an oil giant. It is betting big on tech with a $940 billion public investment fund backing ventures like, they said, Humane, which is the new AI company that's going to be launching this week. And I've already covered their projects like NEOM, which is the futuristic city that's envisioned as a hub for innovation. And this is showing that Saudi Arabia has a huge ambition to lead in AI and beyond. And, again, the United States, we've been a powerhouse of AI innovation, but we've lacked a unified national strategy, right? In the past, again, I've said this before in so many of my different videos, that, Saudi Arabia, right? They're pouring billions into bold, centralized visions that has Saudi Arabia coming together. And at the same time, us, the U.S., we seem, fragmented. Like we're driven like by, private companies like Meta, Tesla, OpenAI, and all their CEOs are now here together, which, is really great. But we've never had a cohesive government plan. So this summit essentially is suggesting a shift that's happening. And this could be this could be the moment, the United States aligns all of its tech giants with national goals, right? And having Elon, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, these are like the three guys who are at the AI centrality, right? We got Elon's Twitter AI, Zuckerberg, he's been advocating for open source AI to demonstrate access. And, Altman, the creator of ChatGPT, OpenAI, it's been a revolution. And, he's chasing artificial general intelligence, which is essentially machines that match human intellect. And he sees this summit as a chance to secure Middle Eastern investment. And, these guys are going to shape the narrative. They're not just looking for investments. They're going to really shape the narrative. And with President Trump as well being there, it aims to channels, all this pledged billions into tech, healthcare, and energy. But we got to be critical, right? Some people might say that this summit is going to raise red flags, Saudi Arabia. Some people might argue, their human right record, they've had, no country is perfect, right? So obviously there's a certain shadow that's cast on Saudi Arabia, but the tech leaders like Altman, at some point he was, really extremely cautious of the crown prince. But now he's back here because there's everybody's talking about money. But this flip-flop, it risks, prioritizing profit over principle. And then there's, AI regulation, a debate that's been raging, in the United States. Elon's been calling for strict oversight to mitigate risks. Elon, he's pushing for, no, not Elon, excuse me. What's his name? Mark Zuckerberg. He's pushing for, lighter open source, friendly rules. And then Sam Altman, he wants a balance that keeps America ahead of China. And at the same time, the United States has no comprehensive AI law. And, President Trump's administration, they're moving interestingly about the whole situation. And, Saudi Arabia, they're facing some U.S. export controls on advanced chips, complicating their ambitions when it comes to AI. So, with this summit, will this summit, be able to prioritize innovation over safety, or can it strike a balance? Right. And to me, I look at this thing and I just think about the future, right? If this summit can deliver, it could reshape global technology dynamics, right? So imagine Saudi Arabia has a fund, or they're able to fund data centers powering, United States AI breakthroughs, being able to create jobs and essentially cementing American dominance, right? Saudi Arabia's futuristic city, NEOM, could become a real world testing ground for AI, from autonomous cities to, advanced healthcare. But on the flip side, so much heavy Saudi investment in United States technology raises concerns about influence, right? The Committee of, Foreign Investment in the United States, they're looking at it with certain caution, right? And what about, the societal impact of AI? Without robust regulation, we can risk, amplifying a lot of biases, job displacement, or even existential threats, right? And again, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm really interested in the future, what it's going to look like, how it's going to look like. And the U.S. is finally showing signs of strategic alignment, with President Trump's presence signaling there's a government buy-in. But optimism has to be, cautious, right? Saudi Arabia, they got their own vision. Even though it's bold, it's strained by their own domestic priorities like the futuristic city NEOM, how much that's going to cost, and then a lot of things with like oil prices and all that. And the United States, we have to avoid becoming overly reliant on foreign capital or compromising our own values, right? The future could be really bright, right? AI solving climate change, revolutionizing healthcare and medicine, or boosting economies. But that only happens if we navigate this moment with a clear-eyed vision, right? The U.S. Saudi Investment Summit, this is a historic opportunity, right? But it's not a blank check. We have to depend on transparency, ethical investment, and a regulatory framework that balances innovation with safety, right? Elon, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, and President Trump, the stock market has been just went crazy today based on all this, right? But these guys, they're going to be playing a huge role in shaping our future. Let's just hope it's a future that we can all live with. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with someone who might see some value in it. And never forget, it's you and I verse. Information, application, execution. Until next time.